You're watching Griffon Sports Insider, presented by Spine and Sport Physical Therapy. Now, here are your hosts, Brett Esely and Ryan Menley.
Hello and welcome to a very special GSI, the last show, Ryan Menley, of 2013.
So they bring us back for 2014.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, all right. We have to check with the bosses there.
Yeah,
what better way, though, to finish 2013 than with a look back at some of our favorite stories of the year?
A lot of good ones. And best of, is this like the Vernon Shirley best of? It's better, isn't it? It's better. You know, over the next half hour, we'll look back on some of the coaches, athletes, and teams that made history this past year.
And we begin with the story that received the most national attention this past year, 500,000 YouTube views and counting. Last January, a very special surprise reunion between a father and a daughter, and it happened on the basketball court.
Cool stuff.
Of all
Good
places.
Griffon basketball player Lanisha Lawrence has become quite accustomed to life without her father.
Most of the time I've known Lanisha, her father's been away from home.
Well, it's been pretty hard because, like, when I was little, that's when he first left.
But the reason for absence is noble, making this surprising return so emotional.
Nothing will top it, ever. That's probably the biggest surprise that I've ever had in my life. I thought it wasn't real. I thought I was dreaming at first. My reaction was just to cry because I haven't seen him in so long.
United States Army Staff Sergeant Barry Lawrence has spent years serving his country in the war. He just returned from Afghanistan. Before now, he hadn't seen his daughter in 10 months.
I knew that I would get a hug and a kiss, but I didn't know there would be that much crying. It was glorious. It was glorious.
We had it kind of set up a little bit where I knew they were going to show up about 3 and fully expected our practice to shut down about that point emotionally. I knew it was going to be a really emotional time for her and probably some of our players.
Emotional for all who witnessed, especially head coach Rob Emerson, who suffered the loss of his son last year.
A relationship between a parent and a child is obviously the best relationship there is. So, and the fact that he's done 2 or 3 tours and got to come home safe, I mean, that by itself is a great thing.
And the even better thing, there won't be any more surprise reunions like this, because Sergeant Lawrence's recent tour of duty was his last.
I plan on being back here for the remainder because now I'm about to retire, and we're going to follow our kids. Whatever they decide to do, that's what we're going to do.
That was really neat to see. Kind of surprised all of us. We're just in practice, and boom, that happens.
Sometimes you run into the best stories by accident. And really neat. And, you know, any military scenario was really, really emotional. And neat for Nisi to be reunited with her father. Really cool stuff.
Dad's been at every game since then,
You betcha.
too. That wasn't the only basketball moment to grab headlines at Missouri Western this past year, though.
That's right. Men's basketball coach Tom Smith called it a career after 600 wins, 46 years, and the last 25 at Missouri Western.
Here's a look back on his final home game last March in the Fieldhouse.
So here I am with my thoughts of you.
The end of an era Saturday filled with hugs, tears, and pretty much everything in between. Alex Toluca and Fumu Pembe and Dylan France being honored on Senior Day. And then there's Tom Smith, his final game in the Fieldhouse. The last home chapter of a 38-year coaching career, his final home pregame pep talk.
And we know, I don't care what anyone says, we're as dangerous as any team in this league. Anybody. We've already shown that. All right, let's show them what we really were.
This game had a bit of everything. Griffin's flying high on Southwest Baptist, literally. Reed Mel's half-court alley-oop, Calvin Balkew. Should have been a Sports Center top 10. Western up 33-19 at halftime. Coach Smith says, let's keep it going. Second half, more great passing. DZ Markalovich to Cedric Clinkscales. 24 points, 10 rebounds for the big fella. The entire team just overall dominating. Markalovich just takes the ball away from the purple jersey, and anytime Balkew's close, you just throw it up, and that's what happens. That's ridiculous. That is also a winner. Missouri Western finishes the regular season with a 72-58 victory and a classy, classy way to say goodbye to Coach Smith. 618 career wins, 38 years as a head coach, 25 at Missouri Western, more than 30 players, more than 2,000 fans and friends staying to say a final home goodbye.
The win felt great to finish out with Coach Smith, get him a standing ovation, and just having a happy feeling at the end, especially being a senior. It felt amazing.
It is an emotional day, and you knew it would probably take its toll on a man that has lived, breathed, bled Missouri Western black and gold. I mean, it is I mean, when people think of Missouri Western basketball, I mean, he's the first name that comes up.
Oh, it's tough because there's uncertainty with what's going to happen here in the future, but all good things have to come to an end, and this is a pretty good thing. And I think Coach Smith is walking out of here leaving this place much better than when he came in.
And I would never, ever want to coach any place else.
Well, an emotional goodbye for Coach Smith, which didn't last very long because he's back as a tennis coach now.
And fitting, only fitting. You knew he'd be back.
Yes.
Good to have him back, too.
In fact, he is one of a handful of new coaching hires at Missouri Western this year.
Here he is, and here's a look at some of them as we go to break.
Well, I'm excited to announce that we've hired Brett Weiberg from Northern Oklahoma College as our Knicks men's basketball coach at Missouri Western, and you know he's born a coach in what I call it.
I'm the son of a coach, you know, so my dad, I grew up watching him coach basketball all at the collegiate level. I believe I can coach, and I believe I can lead young men. Kind of what we do is we just try to develop a culture of hard work, accountability, and a culture of winning.
Comes with a lot of responsibility to coach at your alma mater, but I'm definitely ready to take over that challenge. It's pretty cool. Again, no one loves Missouri Western more than I do and more than my family does because of what it offered me as a student athlete. And so to contribute and give back to the university as a head coach is a really, really cool opportunity.
Greg Dillon took over the men's and women's programs in early September and has hit the ground running. Dillon, a longtime PGA pro, came to Missouri Western from Colorado State Pueblo, where he was a three-time Conference Coach of the Year on the women's side. Now in St. Joe, he plans to mold the two teams into one consistent program.
It's Griffon golf. It's not men's, it's not women's, we're golfers, and that's I want to make sure that we progress as a team more than anything else.
Now David Bass is going to sling him to the ground, his second sack in this football game.
Spinal sport treatment with Fred, his methods are extremely different from anybody I've ever been with because he takes your injury and breaks it down to a T. I came here right after I had my bone spur surgery for my left foot. He broke my body down, so he kind of went in and took it step by step from my hips down to my knees, to my calves, to my ankles, and fixed everything. I recommend Spinal Sport because of Fred. He has a passion for his athletes and getting people back to where they need to be.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through St. Joe, there were people in pain who just needed to know. The doctor said Spine and Sport was the place to go. You need physical therapy, don't you know? Spine and Sport is the best place in town. It's your first choice, the right choice when you're feeling down. So when you have low back pain, no other place is quite the same. Come to Spine and Sport, and we'll get you back in the game. Merry Christmas and God bless from your friends at Spine and Sport.
Man, hey.
How does he continue to get past the guard?
You're not even supposed to be here. You're not. And we're not doing a Harlem Shake either, man. And it ain't gonna happen. Get out. Help. Security.
Hey, Max.
Finally.
Harlem Shake that, baby.
Well, we thank Coach Smith for that. Much deserved for Max. Too bad Max, though, really hasn't been humbled since then.
Well, he hasn't. He got his concussion. He hasn't been the same. He's been on a tear. He's suing the university. So
this kind of started the downhill slide.
It really did start the downhill slide. Well, speaking of humbling, it was a humbling and history-making year for Missouri Western baseball in 2013.
Yeah, arguably, maybe unarguably, the greatest Griffon team in baseball history. 40-12 record in the first ever MIAA Conference Championship. Let's go back to last spring and see how they clinched it.
Game 2, no drama needed, just domination. 8th inning, Griff's already up 9-1. Spencer Shockley steps up and goes yard. This is his second homer of the game, and that's the ball game. The Griffins walk off with a mercy rule victory, 11-1 the final in 8 innings, and let's go back to the celebration. Buzz Verduzco gets the Gatorade shower. His team clinches its first MIAA Conference Championship in school history. What a moment moment, and what a year for this Griffon team who runs its record to 34-7 overall, and still so much to play for in this spectacular and special season.
Hey, you guys 100% deserve it. Okay, and A, it's not going to be Hy-Vee at some steakhouse.
This spring was just awesome, and this whole season just came down to this, and it's been really fun.
It's a big thing to us. You know, we just kind of got lucky. All the pieces fell into place. We have a really good team.
It's unreal how on fire this team's been this year.
Yeah, we just need to keep focused, you know, hard practices and keep working in the weight room, keep strong, because we have bigger goals to kind of accomplish later in the season.
Everybody stay together. Okay, that's what it means. That's what it takes. Okay, and we're not done yet, right? Done. No, we're not done yet. No, all right, let's grip up.
Lots of future Hall of Famers on that squad. Pitcher Brandon Simmons became Missouri Western and the MIAA's all-time wins leader, was also named Conference Pitcher of the Year. Shortstop Michael Schultz hit over 400 all season. He was named the National Offensive Player of the Year. Schultz and fellow senior third baseman Grant Fink were also drafted into the big leagues. Fink by the Cleveland Indians, Schultz by the St. Louis Cardinals.
Those weren't the only two Griffons to make the pros in 2013. Running back Michael Hill's currently on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers active roster. And defensive end David Bass was a 7th-round draft pick of the Oakland Raiders. He's now earning a name for himself on the Chicago Bears active roster.
Nobody cares if you're undrafted, your first round, you know, 5th round. They want to see you produce. And not only just saying, hey, it was a DN that went in the first round, I think I'm better than him. I'm going to prove to guys that I'm better than him. You know, I'm just going to work my butt off so I can be the best I can be. And if the best I can be is better than that first rounder, then so be it.
2006 Griffon grad Bryce Garnett had a monster year on the links, and because of it, he earned his PGA Tour card in 2013.
It's great. You know, I get to travel the world, get to meet new people, get to play some of the best golf courses in the world, and you know, to get paid a little bit while doing it, I couldn't ask for a better job.
Sometimes I wonder if Elvis had hip pain. And if he did, I know I could have fixed it. And if I did, he'd still be alive today.
Well, we're out here trying to get the 4 inches of snow off of Griffon Park in preparation for this weekend series against Truman State.
You expect to play it all this season?
Eventually.
We're here at Missouri Western, just trying to get ready for our spring season here in a couple weeks. Just out here in the nice weather.
Where'd it go? I don't know.
This is Midwest Golf, right where I was raised. It's what we do here in the Midwest.
I never saw it.
You're good.
It's 20 degrees out here. Why are you in shorts?
It's golf attire.
Aren't you cold?
No. Love it.
Well, you know, most teams that aren't hardy go to the southern states to play in some tournaments. I'm like, what's the big deal? It's just some snow. We're in Missouri. You should be used to it.
How am I supposed to putt this?
I had a chance to go to Pebble Beach this weekend, but I said why when I could just be out here. In the snow!
Where'd it go?
Cass, it's right there.
That's not my ball.
Dude, you suck.
We need more of a challenge. It's not a big deal. That's not my ball! We run our program like the football team. I mean, there is no room for sissies around here. You have to be mentally tough and physically tough. Cassie, come on, get out! This is not a snow day! Get up!
Birdie.
Hey, Tiger, anytime you want to come play with us, this is our house. You ain't got nothing on the grist. Nothing.
Well, welcome back. The winter weather really did play havoc with spring sports. Baseball got a late start. Golf barely got to start at all, but it all worked out.
Well, it did. 2013 also marked the end of an era of sorts for Missouri Western football.
This past season marked the swan song of the Partridge father-son duo. Travis Partridge wrapped up his senior season with an 8-3 record, and during his 3 years as a starter, the younger Partridge led Western to its most success in school history. The head coach's son helped lead the Griffins to their first outright MIAA conference title and the school's first playoff win in 2012. He's also Missouri Western's all-time rushing touchdown leader. Always a tough situation when you have to coach your son, but hey, this one worked out pretty well in the end.
I've been very fortunate to be here a long time where, I've seen a lot of them roll in and roll out. And so, it is amazing to think that one of those is my son. He is, Mike Nicholson. Coach Nick texted me after Saturday's game talking about how Travis may have been the most kind of picked over and analyzed Missouri Western football player ever. And a lot of it very unfairly. And he was under a magnifying glass
coming in
that they lived up to and way overshot what anybody thought was going to happen, and had a tremendous career and to be the all-time leading touchdown rushing leader career-wise amongst all these players that I've been around and played with or friends with or coached, or to see his name among that is very special to me, no doubt. I care too much about this program. I love my son too much not to put him out there. Couldn't do it. He, by far and away, proved he could.
And I wouldn't trade for the world. I love my father, I love my family, love my teammates, and it's been a lot of fun.
St. Joe's really produced quite a few professional athletes in the last few years. One thing they all have in common is they've all walked through our doors here at Spine and Sport.
I've done stuff that I've never done at any other physical therapy place, and I've been to a lot of physical therapists.
I recommend Spine and Sport because of Fred. He has a passion for his athletes.
I would recommend Spine and Sport to anybody from your average athlete to your professional athlete.
Train like the pros at Spine and Sport. Okay, we're ready for the last phase, phase 4. We're really picking up the speed. The engine's at full speed now. This is called neuroactivation. We got to get that nervous system at full speed. So we got the guys here. This is called fast feet. They're going to spread out a little bit. They're going to move their feet as fast as they can while their arms are slowly moving through a coordination cycle. So that's warming up the nervous system and those calf muscles. All right, now we stop. We come up and we're going to do some jumping back and forth. A lot of jumping in basketball. They're jumping front to back, front to back. Now they're going to switch to the right, side to side, side to side. Now they're going to switch to a twist. Twist, twist, twist. Very good. So basketball players jump, we got the nervous system ready to roll. Okay, here we go with what's called a plyo step. They're going to get their feet scissoring as fast as they can. They're going to start with what's called a plyo step on the right foot, sprint to the free throw line, go, jump, stop, fast feet, fast as you can. Plyo step, left foot, go, jump, stop. Very good. We're going to turn sideways. The crossover step, very important in the defensive basketball game plan. Fast feet, fast as you can. Crossover. Come to a stop. Fast feet, crossover. Now they're going to come back the other way. Fast feet, crossover. Last time, cross feet, crossover. There you have it, guys. Now they're ready to go do their layup drills, get ready to go for the game. That's our 4-step activation process to warm up the nervous system. We got to start thinking more along the lines of sports science, getting out of the traditional mold of stretching those muscles. We want to activate those muscles for complete power. That's great for injury prevention, but also for sports performance. That's warming up. That's training like the pros at Spine and Sport. "'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through St. Joe, there were people in pain who just needed to know. The doctor said Spine and Sport was the place to go. You need physical therapy, don't you know? Spine and Sport is the best place in town. It's your first choice, the right choice when you're feeling down. So when you have low back pain, no other place is quite the same. Come to Spine and Sport and we'll get you back in the game. Merry Christmas and God bless from your friends at Spine and Sport."
Well, every year we have the night out on the Griffs. It's where we get a bunch of the kids of the community and we
pretty much babysit them for 3 hours. Ready?
The goal of Night Out on the Griffs is to provide an opportunity for the community to be able to bring their children to the Griffon Indoor Sports Complex, which a lot of people have not seen in the past.
I think it's amazing.
We're here at the Looney Complex main arena playing our annual SAC Make-A-Wish Foundation dodgeball tournament.
We're about 50, I think it's 15 teams out here, so we raise close to $700, I believe it is. And all the proceeds go to Make-A-Wish.
Number 6 in the nation, 31-5 on the season, and you lost in dodgeball to men's golf. Bubba Dotson, your thoughts?
Get out of my face, man. It was a fluke.
Cassie Webb has a skillful golf swing.
I'm attempting to wrap a tool set.
Her gift wrapping skills, however, aren't quite up to par.
Oh, they're actually really awful.
But the intentions are awesome.
Ah, that's all right. That's a good one.
Every holiday season, members of Missouri Western's Student Athlete Advisory Committee put aside their sports to play Santa.
This is a toy dog for a little 8-year-old girl.
And we got a list of everything that the kids wanted in the family, and so then we just went to Walmart and went shopping. And then came back here, and now we're wrapping.
It's called Griff's Giving Gifts, part of the Adopt a Family program. It begins with Thanksgiving, where the athletes shop for and hand-deliver Thanksgiving dinners to needy families. The scenario is the same for Christmas, but it's also different.
Very emotionally touching, just seeing the people that you're actually giving into, and just the situations that they're in. And you don't know why or how, but just to actually be able to help them.
Shirley Walker's situation is a struggle. She raises 7 grandchildren by herself.
I like to see my grandkids happy.
Thanks to Adopt a Family,
Hi. Should we put them on your tree for you?
they get a visit from Santa's helpers in the form of Griffon softball players.
It's nice to be able to see where the gifts that we got were going, and to actually see the kids' reactions and the family's reactions and how thankful they were.
I think it's some jelly worms.
Jelly rollers, huh? You know the old saying, it's better to give than receive?
Oh, a picture.
Well, in exchange for giving Shirley's family a Christmas to remember,
Not the whole family, but half of my family.
Santa's student sports helpers receive a family portrait and plenty of hugs. Here, giving and receiving are on a pretty even playing field.
I think it's a dream. It's a blessing, a great blessing.
For Griffon Sports Insider, I'm Ryan Menley.
You know, we talk about our favorite things of 2013. That's probably always mine, when you see our student athletes out in the community like that and doing something that makes a difference in people's lives, not just on the field. I think that's very cool.
Well, it does, and you know, it's more than just the holiday season. When you think back to over the year and everything that we've done, $1,700 raised during Pink Week, had a lot of student athletes involved with Second Harvest Food Bank, the Make-A-Wish Foundation. It really is 12 months of giving, and that's just a really good example of it there.
Well, it was a good 2013. I'm looking forward to 2014.
I am too. I just hope we get a chance to do it in 2014. We'll have to talk to the boss, and then hopefully our contracts get renewed. We'll see.
See what Max Griffon says. He'll be back on January 6th. We will
can't wait
return
for that.
on January 6th live for GSI. And
you know, make it a good black and gold Christmas. Wear your gold. Need some holiday gift ideas? Get them at gogriffons.com, and let's make 2014 a great year as well.
that is GSI for the week. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year,
And as always, go Griffs.